crank it all the way. I've done it so far that what happened is the plane's actually slowed down, and you saw the forward slats on the wings pop out, and that's because I had such a severe angle of attack to do that loop that the slats, the forward leading slats on the front of the main wings, wing spars actually came out, and that was a little bit more gentle. This plane is not as fast, of course, again, as the 109, but it's makes maneuvers being able to see them a little bit easier in some respects. Now, getting into more advanced maneuvering, we've already talked a little bit about airflow, that sort of thing, but here's one thing is, you have, say, an enemy coming in behind you and they're trying to get on your 6. You can do what's what they call a what you can basically call as a scissors. You know how the scissors has two different pieces and they come together, and then when you open them back up they move back out. Well, it's kind of like this. It's you can do a scissors like so. Say there's an enemy plane on your 6. Let me bring the plane around so it's facing you a little bit here. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be watching that enemy plane. Just about the time he wants to start to take a shot at you, you're going to move the plane over into a different direction so he has not a very good shot at you. At the same time, what I do is I watch to see when he rolls, and as soon as he starts to roll the other direction to try to reacquire you again, then you're moving back and forth, and like the opening and closing of a pair of scissors. And what that does is it only gives him a few seconds to be able to make a shot on you, and so you constantly have to be looking over your shoulder one way and then the other, keep an eye on the guy, so that as he starts to roll, you want to try and finish your roll in the opposite direction, and it keeps him from being able to get that clear shot on you. Now, you can do that, and at the same time throw in something like a lag roll. So as you're watching and you see the guy coming around, he starts to make his turn, and as he's coming to go back the other direction, is you can lag roll over the top of him, and as he passes underneath you, you then keep your eye on him, and he's going to end up in front of you, and then you can have a quick shot on him and take him out, get a snapshot on the cockpit. You may have to throw a quick rudder maneuver in like so, one direction or maybe back the other direction, and you can then you can just get a quick shot on him, and try to make it to the side of the fuselage, right where the pilot sits. You know, don't try to take the plane up and take the pilot out in those type of situations, because if you wounded him, then and it's only going to be for a few seconds. If you wounded him, he's going to be a lot less able to make any quick maneuvers to get away from you, and then he's become your man. And I'll do one of those going scissors going back the other direction. Okay. Now he's behind us. We're going to go back and watch him. I'm going to start making the turn. I see him start to roll to follow, and I roll back the other way. I watch him over my shoulder. He starts to make the roll to go back the other way. So each time you're rolling the opposite direction than what he is, and it makes it much more difficult for him to get that shot on you. Then if you go ahead and do your lag roll and you watch him, and well, that time I snap rolled it. Didn't mean to do that. It's another thing you need to do. It's also more difficult to fly the airplane from the outside, but try that again here. And so we're watching him. We see him come up underneath us, roll underneath us. He's rolling back the other way. He's now in front of you, and you can take that shot on him and get that shot through the side of his cockpit. And that's called a lag roll, so you can get him to pass up underneath you. What that looks like from the inside of the cockpit, see, we're doing 400, that's pretty good. So you're going to be looking over your shoulder, you're going to roll, you see him start to turn to follow, you go back the other way, and you roll, and going back and forth each time, each direction. And then as you come around and you see him coming around and go up underneath you, then you roll, keep an eye on him, see which direction he's headed, and then you take your shot on him as he passes underneath. and that's called a lag roll, getting your enemy to use his greater speed against him. And in slower planes, you want to use that a lot. I do a lot of defensive maneuvers, particularly with the 110, since that's what I mainly fly. But I can watch people coming in. You see that where they're coming in on you like this, and I seem to have accelerated my time scale in this game. I didn't mean to do that, but anyway, if you turn to 90 degrees to the person, he's going to be coming at you. You can start to turn in towards him, and then as he comes through, you can do a quick lag roll underneath, and as he comes by, you reacquire him and take the shot there too. So that's another way of doing it. Without having to do the scissors, you just do a straight lag roll as the guy's coming in. So you'd want to turn approximately 90 degrees to him, watch him come in. Just about the time he's going to shoot you, you can either dive down, or if you need to, you can pull up a little bit. But as he comes by, you make him miss by doing a quick lag roll. Watch him come past, and then you pull up underneath him or beside him or whatever it may be, or just even a quick jink like that. The guy's going to pass underneath you and off in the other direction, and then you can do a quick rudder kick and a pull on the plane, get turned around on him, and make another quick shot like that. So that's just one example. There's many different ones. Let's go back to the outside of the view of the plane. Let's see, combat maneuver. Let's do with the rolling scissors. Now you've seen the scissors. That's just as simple. If you imagine one end of the scissors going in, opening and closing, so you're essentially just changing back and forth. You can do what's called a rolling scissors, and what that is you start going in one direction, and you pull the scissors, or pull the roll as you're doing the scissors. So now I'm going back the other direction, and but he's still on your 6, so I go back the other way. Now I'm facing the other direction, and then I'm going back over this way. So I'm changing directions the same way as I would be as I was going like so, and then turning and going like so. But when you're doing just the flat scissors like this, you tends to slow you down when you're doing the flat scissors. But when you go into a rolling scissors, you can maintain your speed somewhat, simply by the fact that as you're going up into the barrel roll and going off in one direction, and you dive down and go back in the other direction, you are first losing speed and then regaining speed, losing speed and regaining speed. Although it doesn't maintain the same speed as you would be in level flight, you're still going to be going faster than you would be in a straight flat scissors. And with that, we can move on to another one of the advanced maneuvers that we have available.